great Southland. We, the members of the Mary Brantley Chapter 446 of the United Daughters of the Confederacy, now dedicate these tombstones in grateful recognition of the noble service of Eli Warren, defender of the Confederate States of America. May we be blessed. May it remind all who pause not only of the noble deeds of this Confederate hero, but of the continuing need for unselfish service. From this moment of dedication, we trust there may come inspiration for broader vision and finer service, not for fame or fortune, not for place or rank, not lured by ambition or goaded by necessity, but in simple obedience to duty as they understood. These men suffered all, sacrificed all, dared all, and died. Thank you.
Allegiance to the flag, let us stand, justice, moderation.
Confederate flag, with patience, reverence, and undying devotion to the cause of which it stands. Recover.
I want to welcome all of you all here on behalf of the Ellie Warren family. We are delighted that you have joined us today. People have come from as far away as Idaho and all across Alabama and Georgia, so thank you. In 1861, a person who owned no slaves, who was a simple farmer, lived right here on this land, and his plantation is before you. 3 of his brothers and himself, 4 sons of Moses Warren, left here because their land and their homes were being attacked by an invading army. 3 of his brothers, Joseph, Moses, Benjamin Warren, died. With Company G, 13th Georgia Volunteer Infantry, he died at the age of 24 at the Battle of Manassas, and he remains there today. His second brother, Moses D.L. Warren, at age 34, died April 1st, 1863, with Company G, 13th Alabama Volunteer Infantry in Charlottesville, Virginia. His third brother, James Irwin Warren, at age 47, died July 3rd, 1863, and remains buried at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Today we honor Ellie Warren of the 29th Georgia Cavalry, and he is our hero. When people criticize Southerners for not forgetting the war between the states, its flag, or Sherman's burning raids through Georgia and South Carolina, we should ask them questions like, why don't Texans forget the Alamo? Or have you asked a Jew why they haven't forgotten the Holocaust? Will Poland forget the German bombing of Warsaw? Will the English ever forget the bombing of London? Or should the Irish and Scots forget British tyranny going back 400 years? Think about it and ask yourself whether we as Southerners have any less right to our heroes and our sad memories. We thank Ellie Warren for his record of valor and sacrifice, and for inspiring a memory that despite its disappointments and sorrows, his service proclaims to us and to all the world that we came through those years of struggle with our character intact, our patriotic and courageous as a people untarnished, with nothing to regret from our defense of liberty or our Southland. So have you asked the questions, even you're not part of our family, who are you and why did you come here today? These are good questions because just below the surface of this ground and coursing through the blood in you and each one of your children flows the life of a generation of conquerors, defenders, creators, builders, and victorious people. They carved this home out of a savage wilderness. They fought to create a civilization for our experiment in history of people who could govern themselves. So they brought us freedom and they gave us our liberty. Every schoolyard has a local bully who antagonizes the weaker or the less in number. But there's always that brave kid who, knowing he may lose the fight, takes on the stronger tyrant to defend his friends. This person is a hero. Ellie Warren is a hero. He never loses that kid who faces the tyrant for showing his courage and taking action. He earns respect and he wins his freedom even from the victorious bully. They often become friends, but in the long run, it is the brave young defender that unknowingly won the contest, even if he lost temporarily. Our Southerners, your forefathers, helped win the first war for liberty against England in this country. And then a few years later, without signing a peace treaty, they survived a second war against a U.S. government tyrant right here on their own homeland. We in the South remain a free people today, even as the remnants of a defeated Confederacy. Walt Whitman, a Yankee orderly, repeatedly says in his war diaries that the South actually won its war for Southern independence. They prevailed, he says, in their ideals, their honor, and their courage, and they survived with their integrity intact. The U.S. North did not. Like against that bully in the schoolyard, the smaller kid who came out swinging earned the admiration and respect of the world, and in the process earned superiority over tyranny and his U.S. equality. The laws became fairer, the tariffs were lowered, and the South did rise again. And if you question that, let's compare downtown Atlanta today to the Detroit ruins and many of the ruins in the Northeast. 150 years ago, young people, just like these people here, faced challenges like we're beginning to see in our country again today. In addition, however, they faced the horror of a second war upon their personal homes. This again was the age-old adage of individual rights versus government tyranny. They fought for that ideal like heroes, and for that we honor them today. Thomas Jefferson documented that individual rights can only come from Almighty God, and that a limited government was his idea of freedom, and that government was meant to be our servant, not our master. We are never to be dependent on government, and we must be responsible masters of that government. Liberty itself is often defined as the absence of government. So why is it important for our children to remember history today? Because in knowing that your forefathers were not sheep, you too can lead and are not forced to follow. In knowing that your family had courage, you do not have to quit in the face of your own struggles. In knowing that your forefathers were warriors, you know too that you do not have to be victims. This legacy of blood in your children's vein must not die. It lives on to empower them and to protect you. It is their valuable inherited birthright. From 1861 to 1865, America lost 625,000 human lives to a savage, unnecessary conflict, right here in our own hometowns. It would be a disgrace if these men were forgotten. We are their heirs, and we cannot forget their greatness. We cannot let them be forgotten or their names dishonored. We are their sons, we are their family, and we should vindicate their charge. Again, I want to thank you for coming today and remind you once again that Ellie Warren remains an American hero, and I stand for him now.